But all right, let's get back to work here. Next up for us, 1 p.m. Eastern, Green Bay Packers 3-5, 1-3 on the road to the Detroit Lions, 1-6, 1-3 at home. We're at Ford Field, Detroit, Michigan. We have these Packers opening up at -3 at -106. They're now -3 at -122. So a 16-cent move over to the Packers. From a total perspective, it opened up at 49.5 -101 to the over. It's now -102 to the over. So not a lot of move there. Then we go over to the cash flow here. 4,665 tickets in, 52% of the tickets and 75% of the cash on the Detroit Lions. But we see a move towards the Packers. That's confusing. Then the total is up in the air. You have 45% of tickets on the under, 53% of cash. You don't see the under moving. I will copy and paste my man Dennis's look for Love Reigns on Breeders' Cup Friday. Okay, let's break this down. The Packers come in off their 4 straight loss, 27-17 setback at Buffalo. The 4-game skid is the second longest under Rodgers. The team's worst since 2016. Green Bay hasn't been 3-5 since 2006. That's Brett Favre's second to last year. And it felt like they weren't trying to win the game. They were just trying to not be embarrassed. It allowed the Packers to cover. It allowed us to cash the unders. It was very strange. Rodgers was 19 of 30 for 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He completed 3 passes of more than 20 yards. Dubs caught 4 for 62 and a touchdown. So Green Bay already missing Lazard, Cobb, and then they lose Christian Watson, who had returned. He left with a concussion. This Lions team allows 8.1 yards per attempt. That's the worst in the NFL. They allow 5.1 yards per carry. That's the 5th worst in the league. This defense is terrible. They moved the ball on the ground, and the Bills let them do it. It was eating up clock. Aaron Jones, 20 carries for 143 yards. A.J. Dillon, 10 carries for 54 yards. The defense, again, looked weak. 2 sacks, 3 quarterback hits. They got interceptions from Jair Alexander, Rasul Douglas. Then they lose Devondre Campbell. Hurt his knee in the first half. And Quay Walker was ejected for that shove, that strange shove on the Bills' sidelines. LaFleur has said that Chris Barnes could return to the team this week. He was on injured reserve for a high ankle sprain. He's now eligible to return to practice. That would help a lot. The Lions made some noise today at the deadline. They traded TJ Hawkinson to the Vikings. They received a 2023 second-round pick, 2024 third-round pick. They come in off their 5th straight loss, 31-27 setback at home to the Dolphins. They were up 27-17 at the half, couldn't finish the job. Goff, 27-37, 321 yards and a touchdown. Hawkinson caught 3 passes for 80 yards in his final game in the Lions uni. Khalif Raymond caught 3 for 76. Amon-Ra St. Brown caught 7 for 69 in his return from a concussion. DeAndre Swift did not look right. He got a full week of practice. He returns for the first time since week 3. And 5 carries for 6 yards, 5 receptions for 21 yards. The defense couldn't get stops when they needed them. They allowed the Dolphins to go for 7.4 yards per play, 8 for 12 on third down. And they lost A.J. Parker, a cornerback. He was injured during the game, lost to a hip injury. And Brock Wright left. He's in concussion protocol. And now you don't have Hawkinson. I'm surprised that the bigger bets are in on the Lions. That caught me by surprise. I thought this was a great buy low spot for the Packers against the Lions defense that can't stop anything. But that I'm concerned. I do not want to go against that. What looks like sharp action. Take it away for us, Andy. Packers, Lions.
Yeah, Birdie and I don't agree on everything, but we agree strongly here. Not touching this game is the right angle. Like the Detroit offense or defense is utterly atrocious, but the Green Bay offense is such a mess right now as far as getting anything going. And then, I mean, they looked good running the ball in the second half. If you wouldn't have seen the time or the scoreboard, you would have thought that was a nice drive. But it's like, oh, God, you guys are down 3 scores. And you're just running the ball in the first 6 plays of this drive. Like, have you given up on life? Are you done? Is it the end of the season? If they cough this game up and the Dolphins win, which is, the chalk in that game, and the Vikings win, which is the chalk in that game, I think Minnesota clinches the division. My God, they'll have like a 5-game lead in week 8. It's a long road to getting back to even a wild card spot for Green Bay right now. They need this game if they want to do anything. That said, I don't trust the offense at all. I don't quite understand why this total's 50. I guess the general consensus is both these defenses are worse than we thought. But I mean, Detroit, like you said, Swift ain't right. Hawkinson's now wearing purple. I don't know if this Detroit offense does a whole lot here. I kind of want to bet this under, and I don't really want to bet an under in two teams where I've downgraded their defenses markedly from the beginning of the year. Like Green Bay I really had some sort of high hopes. The only good thing about Green Bay's defense from like years past is Zadarius Smith, and unfortunately he's playing in Minnesota this year. So it's been a bad defense for the Packers as well. So numbers say under, but the eye test says that's a silly thing to do here. So passing. And yeah, if Green Bay gets right here, maybe they're a look on as a bye team against bad defenses. And going forward, maybe learn something from this one.
Sky Dragon says Aaron Rodgers owns two teams, the Bears and the Lions. This is one of them. Green Bay gets right. Papa Cal's seeing 3.5s now. Thomas Maggio says Green Bay by how much? By how much? Papa Cal says Green Bay team total over is a possibility for him. Jared TG says there's the only thing the Packers can do well is run, and they need to hammer it. Mac Beaver says Vince Lombardi could not win with this Lions team. And Clint says, I'll never play Lions under this season. I was expecting to want to be on the Packers. It's moved to 3.5, so the books are concerned, but still, I can't get over the fact that 75% of cash is here on the Lions. Maybe they waited till it went to 3.5 and big bets came in. Well, that's going to give me pause. I expected to want to be on the Packers here. Harold Williams says Packers or pass. Packers bad football too. All right. No move there at this point, but I'm going to be watching it closely. My whole plan was to be on the Packers this week, but I don't know if I can.